Hey, how you doing? All right, we're back. I'm back. Hey, a couple things I forgot the other day. We were talking about all these things they're telling us to do. So I know a lot of you people are using this kind of stuff, okay? So this is called clean cut, right? They're telling you, oh, use disinfectants, wipe things down, right? Well, let me get my glasses on here. You have to understand, some of these have Clorox in them. They have all types of chemicals on them. And they tell you they smell clean. They, just like air fresheners, they're supposed to be clean. And they smell clean. You think that's like natural scents, that natural things that they put in here that make it smell clean? I don't think so. It's all chemicals. And I'm sure I can't even pronounce this stuff. But you know what's funny is, like, people they wipe their hands with this, and they think, oh, I'm cleaning the virus off my hands. Oh, I'm going to be safe. But you just coated your hands with this. And then you're going to, like, if you smoke, it's get it up in your mouth. If you eat, if you sneeze. And what's funny about this stuff here is after it says kills 99% of bacteria in 15 seconds. Yeah, that's like super speed. And it kills colds and flu viruses. All right? And it stops E. coli, salmonella, strep, whatever. Well, look what it says here now. Caution to humans and domestic animals. Yeah, it's a hazard to humans. It's precautionary statements. Hazardous to humans, domestic animals. Okay, could cause moderate eye irritation. Avoid contact with eyes and or clothing. Wash thoroughly with soap and water after handling and before eating, drinking, chewing gum, using tobacco, or using the toilet. Oh, man. So, I guess once you use this, you got to wash your hands. Okay, because it says that it's hazardous. So if you guys, and they're telling you, like, well, if you don't, all the stores, everybody went and hoarded all the, what do they hoard? Rubbing alcohol, right? Vinegar. Vinegar is actually the best thing to use, okay? Just use vinegar. But people are using Lysol. They're spraying their bodies with Lysol. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's destructive to your body. It's totally poisonous. And then you're cleaning your house with this stuff, so you're putting a whole layer of chemicals. Here's another one. You probably wonder why I have these in my car. Yeah, because I'm probably using them, right? Hey, Mark. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Kevin. How you guys all doing? Now, this stuff is called antibacterial disinfectant wipes. Yeah. Precautionary statements. There it is. Hazardous to humans and domestic animals. Hazardous. Basically, I'm not going to read it, but the price says the same thing. So after you use this, you got to wash your hands again. That makes a lot of sense. Most people don't. They think they'll use this on their hands. And I've seen people wipe their babies with this, their faces. And basically, this probably smells nice too. Let's see. Ooh, smells fresh. Yeah. Yeah, just like the candles and the air fresheners. This stuff is bad, okay? I mean, if you use it like to clean, like if I want to clean my car, my wheel here, my steering wheel, that's fine, okay? But then I got to make sure it's going to be on my hands, that somehow my hands don't end up on, like, touching the straw, maybe, right? And if it does, if I touch the straw, to adjust the straw, I'm drinking this stuff, all right? So basically, by putting the bleach and chlorine in your water that they're telling you to mix it with water and clean your house, they're basically telling you to coat your house with poison. So now you got this filament throughout your house that's going to add to the indoor air pollution. It's going to add to making people sick. It's going to add to the poisons. Now here's this stuff. My wife gives me this Purell, right? Oh, kills most germs. So I've had it in my car, and you can see that's how much I use. Except guess what? After 2 weeks of using this, hey Dave, hey Michelle, hey Terry, using this stuff for 2 weeks, and it probably says warnings, flammable, keep away from flames. I guess this could explode, right? But look what it did in my hand. I don't know if you can see it. My hand, all my skin is coming off my hands. Look at my hands. They look like they're 90 years old. I've been using this stuff off and on. Every time I touch something, I just spray it on and do this kind of thing. Well, it's completely destroying my hands, okay? And the other problem is this stuff, whatever it is, and it's not probably good for you, it's going to end up it's going to end up absorbing into your skin, and before you know it, your skin is an organ, man, and it travels to your whole body. So I'm not sure this stuff is good either for you. I mean, I guess if you use it quickly, that's fine. Okay, now here we go. We forgot about the gloves. You know, so basically these gloves here, a lot of people have no clue that they have different types of gloves. They just buy these things without reading them. But if you notice, they have latex, poly, right? They have and vinyl. Okay, poly would be polyvinyl chloride. And so these gloves, they're designed for certain things. So you got to make sure you're buying the right glove for the right thing. Okay. Another thing I've seen people do, my neighbor, he pulls out, he goes, I got gloves. Yeah, and he pulls out these two gloves. And he's got two of these things in his pocket. And people use them, and they put them back in their pocket and reuse them again. Really? You got to throw these, you can't use these. So what's going to happen now, I'm going to predict this. You know, we've got like, let's put something else on. I got little props today. We've got a problem in our oceans, right? And what's the problem? You know, they show you these turtles, you know, that's got these turtles that have like straws stuck in their nose and they're dying and stuff. And then they show you all the water jug, the water plastic bottles, these things, right? These things, millions of these things right all over the ocean. Well, guess what we're going to have next? We're going to have a million of these things floating around. All right? You know, and they're probably going to have little fish that are going to like get them in their gulls. So this is going to be a real problem because the new normal is going to be this. So if you're going to invest money, I would look at these companies like 3M, start putting your money in these since you lost all your money the last couple of weeks in the other markets. But these, you can't reuse this stuff. You got to throw them out. And then the other problem is a lot of times they get mixed in, the dirty ones with the good ones. You don't know if they're good. So you probably need a special bag for these. But we're going to have a major pollution problem with these. Okay? And I also talked about goggles. You got to protect your eyes, right? We talked about that. So I've been doing some reading, and what's kind of crazy, I think, is that every time we introduce a new electrical impulse of some sort, whether that be shortwave, Doppler, every time they introduce something new, a lot of people get sick. And there are parts of the world where people are completely electrically sensitized. Like, I believe it's in West Virginia or Pennsylvania where literally 2 to 10,000 people live near this radio telescope because there's no internet there. And these people get sick from that. Well, what's happening now is, I don't know if you knew it, but that one place, the Chinese town, I don't want to say it, the Woo, you know what I'm talking about, where all this stuff started. That place went under FIVE and G, okay? And that is a super, you know, the whole world's going to that, okay? But it's like introducing it, and you're going to get a lot of people are going to get sick from it, because what that does is it basically hurts your immune system, you know? And when your immune system it's hurt, it's got to try to fight it. And so it might be okay for some people, it might not be for others. There's a lot of sensitized people today. You know, people get sensitized for a lot of things. And so once they introduce this to certain areas, like in big, tall buildings, which is a whole nother issue, a lot of people will become sensitized to it, and their immune system is going to automatically respond and try to correct it and fix it. And when that happens, it's like fight or flight. So you can get sick from a lot of things. So just keep that in mind. In a couple of cities that we've had this full FIV and G, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not going to use certain words because it seems that they're cutting out a lot of videos that have certain words in them, especially that one, and correlating it with the CV thing that's going on, that flu thing, right? The minute you put those two together, you're done. You are off. And what's interesting is why you off? Well, you know, there's this guy, I don't know if you guys knew about any czars, but in 2009, this guy, Costas Sunstein, he was a college professor at Harvard and wrote a paper. And this paper was basically how to deal with people that don't believe in the narrative. You know, people that, you know what I'm talking about, the big C word, those C people, right? And so he wrote a paper how to deal with it in 2008, January. And what's really funny is he wrote the paper so he would be hired by the Obama administration in 2009. And so he got hired as a czar, okay? And his whole job was to combat the C people, okay? And what's interesting, and I'm going to get to the point here, is in his paper, very, very biased paper. You got to download it and look for it. It's hard to find now, but you can find it. I have a PDF if anybody's interested. I can email it to you. But if you read through it, he basically destroys all the C things that's happened this whole time. He kind of makes fun out of them, but he says, well, how does a government combat with that? Well, he says, you don't show them the reality, because if you do, because they don't have the reality on most of them, right? But he says you don't show it to them. Hey, hello, Vladimir, Mike. My glasses fell out. Oh, my glasses are in my hand. And so he says, number one, you ignore it right off the bat. And then the second thing, he explains a lot. It's a 30-page paper. And then the second thing he says, in an open society, he goes, if you have in an open society, you cannot do censorship. And so he says, like, oh, America, we're an open society, but censorship is the way to do it. How to wipe this right off the bat. But you can do it in an open society. Well, you know what's funny? Is that was in 2009, right? And this is what, 2020? We don't have an open society anymore. If you haven't seen it, how could they just take off videos right up? They just knock them out. I'll do something, and they'll shut me down halfway through the video if I say a couple words in order. Don't ask me how they know how to do it, but they do it. And just right now, yesterday they purged the entire YouTube of the FIVENG with the C flu in the same sentence. It's gone. Your whole video's gone. And so we aren't living in an open society anymore, like Coststein said. Now, another thing he says to do, and this is kind of funny because everything he said to the Obama administration, he was getting paid a lot of money, okay, in 2000, I think he started in 2009, went for like 6 years or something. And now he's got books. I ain't going to tell you the name of the books because I don't want to help this guy get rich. And so the second thing he said you do is and I'm not going to use the words he uses in the book. I'm going to try to make it real simple. What you do is you use trolls and you use shills. Now, there's a difference, and I'm going to tell you what the shills are. These are the shills of the same people you see on Facebook every day, posting the same, I hate this guy, he's no good, he did this, Russia. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of those people are shills who are actually getting paid. Okay, they're not going to tell you they're getting paid because they also have a secrecy agreement. And you'll notice how they never stop. I mean, you get to a certain point where you just kind of get sick of it. No, man, these people do it 5-6 times a day because they're getting paid. Okay, so it's called. So one of the things the government does in this paper that Cost got hired to do by the Obama administration was to do shills, and that is to go into the media and go into the mainstream and just mess everything up and cause problems. And the trolls are kind of the same thing, okay? The shills make stuff up. So they'll say the Flat Earth Society, right? So they start this Flat Earth Society, they jump into the guys that are fighting about the moon landing, right? And then he kind of mix everybody up. Then the trolls get in there because the trolls get paid too. They do a couple different things. And now they just distort the whole thing. So if there's any question about some kind of truth, and guess what a C is? C is when you could have two people conspiring against a bad thing, right? And if you look, the C, yeah, right? You know what I'm talking about? Hey, John, it's when two people or more conspire to cause harm or damage. That's what it really means. And if you get I have a lot of old books, so I got a Britannica 1901. The C definition isn't the same definition. They changed it after Kennedy died, after he got assassinated. Whole different meaning. And they add